Hi, I hope you are well. Today we are going to look at the three food groups and the factors to consider when preparing or eating food. Now, in the last episode, we said that for us to function well, our bodies require nutrients, and those nutrients are 5 in number. We have protein, we have carbohydrates, vitamins, water, and mineral salts. So today we will look at the groups of food and the factors to consider when eating this food. Now, what are these three groups of food? One, we have bodybuilding food, which helps to repair and bind worn-out tissues. It acts as a glue so that it binds and makes healing easier. So, examples include meat, beef, dengu, lentils, eggs, milk, and so on. The second one is energy-giving food. Now, this consists of the carbohydrates that we use, and energy-giving foods, like the group name, gives us energy to perform physical activities mostly. So, it gives us energy so that we can work, we can walk, we can rest, and so on. Now, these could be wheat, bread, rice, potatoes, corn, sugar, and fats and oils. So they are very important because they help us to run the day-to-day activities of our body. Number three is protective food. Now, protective food, we have it under nutrition as vitamins, because it consists of fruits and vegetables. Fruits like bananas, oranges, guavas, pawpaws, and so on. Vegetables like kale, spinach, or spinach, that is how it is pronounced. Tomatoes, bulbs like onions, carrots, and so on. So they help to boost our immune system and protect us from diseases, and it helps us to live a healthy lifestyle. So it's very important to eat those ones, mostly the greens, the yellows, the reds, because each color or every vegetable or fruit has its role in our body. So combine everything that you can have as either a vegetable or a fruit, and so on. And then you should also drink pure water, not the soft drinks, but pure water. It helps to cleanse your body and also to hydrate your body. Also in this category, we have mineral salts like calcium, iron, iodine, and so on. So it is very important that you consume foods that will help enrich your body. For example, calcium is good for the bones, and these foods rich in potassium and iron will also help to strengthen your body system. So it is very important that you eat a balanced diet consisting of proteins or bodybuilding foods, and then you also eat energy-giving foods and protective foods. eat them in moderation. Serve the right portions, and it will help your body to grow. Now, let's look at the factors to consider when we are preparing or eating food. Now, these are factors that are very important for us to keep in mind when we are eating our food. So, number one, consider that food can be eaten raw or cooked. When you are preparing your food, identify the foods that should be eaten raw and the ones that should be cooked, so that you don't give people food that has not been cooked and then you expect them to eat it well. For example, there are some foods that when you don't cook, like beans, you cannot eat. When you don't prepare or cook cassava, it is not edible. Or there are foods that should not be cooked, like fruits, and then you want to cook a banana or an orange. That does not work. So consider the right food or the right method to present a certain food. Make sure that you cook well the ones that are supposed to be cooked, and then the ones that should be eaten raw should be presented raw and in an attractive manner. Number two, foods should be served in a presentable, attractive, and palatable manner. Make sure that you present food well, garnish it if it is garnishable, present it in clean utensils and places of service, and also the food should be edible or palatable. The food can maybe use seasoning or maybe salt or herbs, so that it can be eaten well. Number three, make sure that you have food which is balanced. Have a balanced diet. Some foods heal the body. So if you don't present them, they cannot be helpful in terms of curative or preventative purpose. So make sure that your food is balanced. Have all the nutrients required: protein, vitamins, carbohydrates, water, and mineral salts. Number four, prepare and serve food according to people's age. Now we have the children, that is the infants. We have the children, then the adolescents, the young adults, the adults, and the older people. So it is very important that you serve food according to their needs. Don't give babies heavy food. It will not be of help to them. Don't give children who are busy playing light food. And for the adolescents who are still growing and need a lot of energy, present food that is good for them. For the adults or the older people who do not require a lot of energy, should serve light food and according to their liking. Number five, use salt and sugar in moderation. Don't overdo it. There are some people who don't like a lot of sugar, and there are some people who do not like little salt or food that is almost without salt. So it is very important that you serve food and add enough salt or just a little sugar to taste. This will help us to prevent certain lifestyle diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and so on. So use all these things in moderation. Number 6, eat in moderate sizes and portions. Don't serve a lot of food that you cannot finish, and don't serve the food until others are missing. So serve just enough for you, the one that you can finish or the one that is enough, and then when you still feel that you need some, you can have a second helping, but don't overeat. Number 7, practice hygiene when cooking, when serving, when eating food. So don't eat in a dirty place, don't cook your food in a dirty place, don't serve your food in dirty utensils, and so on. So it is very important that you clean up the place before, during, and after food presentation and food eating. Wash your dishes after you have eaten, and store them in a clean, dry place. Number 8, do not mix cooked and raw food when handling food. Now, there are some people who can, for example, use a knife that they have used to cut meat, to cut their maybe tomatoes or vegetables before they clean it. It is very important that you don't mix. Don't use the same board for meat and vegetables. In fact, clean everything before you use it on another kind of food. If you don't have many, you can clean the same knife that you have used to cut the beef, then clean it and cut the vegetables, but do not mix these foods. They can be toxic. Number 9, preserve and store food in a clean, cool, dry place. Don't keep food in a wet container or a wet place or a damp place, so that, for example, for proteins they can go bad. For the energy giving food like maize, you can develop there can be aflatoxin, and that aflatoxin is not good for the body. It can even kill. So your food should be stored in clean, dry containers. Make sure you dry the food itself first if you want to store it, so that no toxins shall find their way into your food. Number 10, vary your food textures. Don't eat very soft foods alone or very hard foods alone. They should be balanced. Ensure that you have rough edges so that they can help in digestion, and you will be well. Number 11, use different seasonings, spices, and garnishes when preparing your food. These will help to enhance the taste. It will make the taste of food be good. So make sure that you don't overuse the spices also or seasonings, but you use them in moderation. The last one, which is number 12, you are supposed to use different cooking methods. If, for example, you have baked today, tomorrow boil, then you can fry, you can roast, you can stew, you can steam, and so on. Consider the kind of food that you are cooking. For example, vegetables, stewing and steaming is always the best for them. And then for grains or legumes, it is good that you boil them first, then you fry them. For foods like bread, you bake them. For maybe meat or chicken or fish, you can roast or even fry them, or you can boil them. So depending on how you want to serve, that is how you cook your food. So this is the last point for this episode. I hope that you have learned something concerning the kind of food that you're supposed to have in your plate. Don't just have potatoes every now and then, but make sure you have the 3 categories of food in your plate. Have your protein or your protective food, your bodybuilding food, have your energy giving food, and then have plenty of your protective food. So consider the kind of purpose that your food is supposed to do, and then you serve that. For example, those who work in a sedentary lifestyle, for example, those who work in the office, those who do not perform manual work, do not require a lot of carbohydrates, and those who are maybe advanced in age do not require a lot of protein or animal protein in their food. But everybody requires food rich in protective foods. So consider before you serve someone this kind of food. Consider what you're supposed to give them, the nature of their work and their age. Also, prepare your food in a hygienic manner and vary the kind of cooking methods that you are using to prepare the food. Please do not mix the raw food and the cooked food, and you will be healthy. So I think this will be the end for today. We will continue with the same topic in the next video. So have yourselves a lovely day. Make sure you subscribe, and we'll see you then. Hi, I hope you are well. Today we are going to look at the 3 food groups and the factors to consider when preparing or eating food. Now, in the last episode, we said that for us to function well, our bodies require nutrients, and those nutrients are 5 in number. We have protein,